Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's episode of Morte D'Arthur. Tonight, I promise you that we'll be jousting for reals this time. Last night we missed the jousting, we had to end early, but tonight I'll babble on less and we'll get to the jousting good and proper. So hello, good evening. Black Rabbit, I'm on my laptop cable. Hello, Lars. Welcome. Hello, Christian. How are you? Hello, Reagan. Come in. Welcome. Hello, Clockwork. Hello, Ox. Hello, Gabby. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. I'm in a very good mood tonight, as you can see. Feeling pumped for this, mainly because I've finally discovered the new emoticons, so I'm very excited about that. Christian, I'm very well. I'm glad you are. It's always awkward with these questions and answers because of the time lag in between them coming through. One day, hopefully, Periscope will be much faster at letting you guys answer my questions and letting me banter backwards and forwards. But we'll make do with the time lag. We can make do. Important thing, I found out where the swords are in the emoticons. That's the important thing. I've got the swords and the daggers and the shields and all that jazz. All we need now is an emoticon of a knight on horseback with the jousting. Joust? Let's go for spear. With the spear under their arm, riding towards an enemy so they can come together like thunder. That's what we want. Lance! Thank you, Clockwork. Lance was the word I was looking for. Oh, that's almost it, Lars. Almost. We could get away with that, I think. We probably could. We could get away with that. And hello, Gabby. Hello, Eric. Hello, Rhineland. Welcome. Hello, Jen. Yeah, Lance. Lance was the one I was going for, guys. Your brains are clearly much more turned on than mine. Hello, Trouble. Hello, welcome. Hello, Mad. Welcome, guys. Welcome to tonight's show. So that we don't get last night where we had to get cut short, I'll jump straight in and bring you all up to speed with where we are. We are telling the tale of Sir Tristram of Cornwall. Sir Tristram, as many of you know by now, is the most faithful knight in all the realm and the second most deadly, after only Sir Lancelot himself. Tristram is a Cornish knight. He grew up as a knight within the court of King Mark, and there was he not only the best fighter, he was also the best lover. And both these things inspired great hatred and jealousy in King Mark of Cornwall. For King Mark, who was a weak, wretched, cowardly man, despised that Tristram, one of his own knights, should be loved more than he was. And so it fell upon King Mark to plan to humiliate and mock Tristram, to force him to endure all manner of unchivalrous deeds, to force Tristram to fight with tired knights who could not fight back. And ultimately, Mark sent Tristram to Ireland, there to collect the Lady Isolde so that Mark could make her his bride. And it was Mark's plan upon this trip to have Tristram assassinated. Tristram's luck was in, though, ladies and gents. No assassination came. Tristram safely reached Ireland, and there he discovered that this Lady Isolde was the same Isolde that he had been in love with for years, ever since he first saw her, and she had been in love with him as well. What was Tristram to do? Should he refuse to bring back Lady Isolde to be King Mark's wife? Should he run away with her and forsake all his knightly vows, or should he carry through and bring Isolde as the wife of King Mark, as his knightly vows had decreed? Well, Tristram chose to bring Isolde to the castle of King Mark. Even though he was madly in love with Isolde, and even though Isolde was madly in love with him, and perhaps, had the two of them been apart from each other after that, no disaster would have occurred. Perhaps, after that, no blood would have been shed. Perhaps, had they just left it there, all would have been peaceful in the realm of Cornwall. But love is never anything but warlike, ladies and gents. You see, Tristram and Isolde could not keep their hands off each other. They could not keep their passion doused. And so they began an affair together. And it was when Tristram was found in bed with Queen Isolde of Cornwall that King Mark, her husband, flew into a rage and tried to have Tristram killed by his knights. Unfortunately, Tristram is a very brave, very powerful knight. No man could best him to actually slay him to begin with, and so many of the knights there loved Tristram more than King Mark that they refused to fight him anyway. And so King Mark was forced to let Tristram go into exile. And again, perhaps if the tale had ended there, perhaps if Tristram had gone into exile and had passed out of all popular knowledge, then perhaps it would have all been fine. But Tristram, as he travelled across Britain, winning tournaments, fighting away evil knights, vanquishing terrible foes, proved to be such a famous knight, such a well-loved knight, that the courts of England sang his praises. He became legend. And when his legend travelled back to Cornwall and King Mark found out about it, when the legend reached their ladies and gents, then King Mark was thrown into an even greater rage that the man he detested most in all the world should be so beloved by the world. And so news came to King Mark that in Tristram's travels he had gone to Camelot, and there at Camelot he had been made a Knight of the Round Table, and this King Mark could not suffer, and so he set off to Camelot, ladies and gents, in secret, to try and have Tristram assassinated. This did not work. King Mark was discovered, his assassination attempt foiled. King Arthur forced King Mark and Tristram to reconcile with each other. And yet, ladies and gents, there remains an undercurrent of, are the two truly reconciled? Even though King Mark has sworn not to hurt Tristram, is this true or not? We don't know. Soon we will find out, but first, ladies and gents, before we can find out the intentions of King Mark, and hello, Marissa, before we can find out the intentions of King Mark, first, some great knights, Sir Dinadan among them, have come to the Round Table, and there King Arthur himself has decreed that jousts should take place, so that he could see just how powerful his knights were. For rumours have reached King Arthur that there is a knight whose name is Sir Lamorak, who is perhaps one of the greatest knights who have ever lived, and King Arthur would greatly desire to see just how well Sir Lamorak stands up to his own knights in jousting. And so tonight, ladies and gents, as I promised you, let's take up our lances. Now we know the name lances. Let's take up our lances and get into tonight's show. Then, within 3 days of Sir Dinadan arriving at Camelot, King Arthur set a jousting at a priory. And there made themselves ready many knights of the Round Table. For Sir Gawain and his brethren made themselves ready to joust. But Tristram, Lancelot, and Dinadan as well would not joust. However, they allowed Sir Gawain, for the love of King Arthur with his brethren, to win that battle, if he might. And then on the morn, Gawain and his men dressed themselves to joust, and Sir Gawain and his 4 brethren there did great deeds of arms, and Sir Ector de Maris did marvellously well. But Sir Gawain passed all of that fellowship in his skill in battle, wherefore King Arthur and all the knights gave Sir Gawain the honour of the first day of battle. And right so then was King Arthur made aware of a knight with 2 squires, the which came out of a forest side with a shield covered with leather. And then that knight came slyly, and hurtled here and there, and anon with 1 spear he had smitten down 2 knights of the Round Table. Then with his hurtling he lost the covering of his shield, and then the king and all the others saw that that knight bore a red shield upon his arm. "O Jesus," said King Arthur, "see, there rides a stout knight, he with the red shield." And there was noise and crying of "Beware the knight with the red shield!" And so within a little while he had overthrown 3 brethren of Sir Gawain's. "So God help me," said King Arthur, "it seems that yonder is the best jouster that ever I saw." And with that he saw him encounter with Sir Gawain, and he smote him down with so great force that he made his horse fall and avoid his saddle. "How now," said the king, "has Sir Gawain had such a fall? For well do I know what a knight he is, but that knight with the red shield is a powerful man." "Sir," said Dinadan, "I know that man well, but as at this time you shall not know his name." "By my head," said Sir Tristram, "he's jousted better than Sir Palomides, and he I thought to be a great jouster. And if you do know his name, know you that his name is Sir Lamorak de Galis." And while they stood talking, Sir Gawain and his men encountered together again, and there did Lamorak smite Sir Gawain from his horse, and bruise him sore. And in the sight of King Arthur he smote down 20 more knights, besides Sir Gawain and his brethren, and so clearly was the prize given to Lamorak as a knight peerless among others. Then, thank you, Gina, that's a wonderful thing to say. Then, slyly and marvellously, Sir Lamorak withdrew himself from all the fellowship into the forest side. And all this was seen by King Arthur, for his eye never went from him. And then the king, Sir Lancelot, Sir Tristram, and Sir Dinadan took their hackneys and rode straight after the good knight Sir Lamorak de Galis. And there they found him. And thus said the king, "Ah, fair knight, well are you to be found." And when Lamorak saw the king, he put off his helm and saluted him. And when he saw Sir Tristram, he came down from his horse and ran to Tristram to take him by the thighs. But Tristram would not suffer him, and he lit down from his horse, and together they took each other in their arms and made great joy of each other. And the king was glad, and so was all the fellowship of the Round Table, except for Sir Gawain and his brethren who had been defeated. And when they knew that the man's name was Sir Lamorak, they had great despite at him, and Gawain and his men were wonderfully angry with him that he had put them to dishonour that day. Then Gawain called his council in private of all his brethren, and he said to them thus, "Fair brethren, here may you see that the man we hate, King Arthur, loves, and whom that we love he hates. And know you well, my fair brethren, that this Sir Lamorak will never love us, because we slew his father, King Pellinore, for we deemed that he had slain our father, King Lot of Orkney. And for the despite of Sir Pellinore, Sir Lamorak did us great shame to our mother, and therefore I will be revenged. Sir, said Gawain's brethren, let us see how you will or may be revenged, for you shall find us ready. Well then, says Gawain, hold yourselves still, for we shall bide our time. Halfway through tonight's tale, ladies and gents, halfway, and already we can see plots thickening within Camelot. For Sir Gawain has always been quick to hold a grudge and quick to go towards demanding revenge upon folk and plotting their demise, even though it might be years until it takes place. And yes, Gawain did slay Lamorak's father, King Pellinore. For King Pellinore had slain Sir Gawain's own father, King Lot. Now it seems Gawain is worried that Lamorak may try to get revenge upon him, and so he wishes to strike the first blow, especially so because Lamorak is loved by Arthur, and he is not so much. But let's turn now from Gawain. Yes, it's always personal with Gawain. But we'll turn now from Gawain for a moment and turn to Tristram and King Mark. Now we pass our matter and leave Sir Gawain and speak of King Arthur, who on a day said to King Mark, Sir, I pray, give me a gift that I shall ask you. Sir, said King Mark, I will give you whatsoever you desire, if it is in my power. Sir, thank you, said Arthur. Then this I will ask you, that you will be a good lord unto Sir Tristram, for he is a man of great honour, and you will take him with you into Cornwall, and let him see his friends, and there cherish him for my sake. Sir, said King Mark, I promise you, by the faith of my body and by the faith that I owe to God and to you, I shall worship him for your sake in all that I can or may. Sir, said Arthur, then I will forgive you all the evil that ever I ought, and so be that you swear this upon a book before me. And with a good will, said King Mark. And so he there swore upon a book, and all of his knights, and therewith King Mark and Sir Tristram took each other by the hands hard knit together. But for all this, King Mark thought falsely, as it would prove after. For he would put Sir Tristram in prison, and cowardly would have slain him. And then soon after King Mark took his leave to ride to Cornwall, and Sir Tristram made himself ready, and whereof the most part of the Round Table were angry and heavy with sadness, especially Sir Lancelot and Sir Lamorak and Sir Dinadan, who were mad out of measure, for they knew that King Mark would slay or destroy Sir Tristram. Alas, said Dinadan, that my lord Sir Tristram should depart. And Sir Tristram took such sorrow that he was amazed like a fool. Alas, said Lancelot unto King Arthur, what have you done, sir? For you shall lose the man of most worship that ever came into your court. It was his own desire, said King Arthur. Liar! The liar bit is me, not the book. And therefore I might do withal, for I have done all that I can and made them at peace. Peace, said Lancelot. Fire upon peace, for you shall hear that he shall slay Sir Tristram or put him in a prison. For he is the most cowardly and the most villainous king and knight that is now living. And therewith Sir Lancelot departed and came to King Mark, and he said to him thus, Sir King, know you well that the good knight Sir Tristram shall go with you, but beware, I tell you. Beware of any treason or mischief that you plan towards that knight, or of any manner of falsehood or treason. For by the faith that I owe to God and to the order of knighthood, I shall slay you with my own hands. Sir Lancelot, said the king, much have you said to me, and I have sworn and said overly largely before King Arthur, in hearing all of these knights, that I shall not slay or betray Tristram. It were to me to be over much shame to break my promise. You say well, said Lancelot, but you are called a false man, and to be full of treason, so that no man may believe you. Forsooth, it is well known that wherefore you came into this country, and you came here for no other reason than to slay Sir Tristram. King Mark smiled. And so he left, and he and Sir Tristram rode together. For it was by Sir Tristram's will and his means to go with King Mark, and all was for the intent to see the Lady Isolde. For without the sight of her, Sir Tristram might not endure. And there, ladies and gents, we reach the end of tonight's chapters of Morte D'Arthur, with Tristram heading off to see Isolde and to travel with King Mark off and into the land of Cornwall. What will happen when they get there? We will find out. Let me tell you this, though. King Mark will be up to his scheming, treacherous, murderous, bloodthirsty ways in no time, and I cannot wait to share those things with you. I really can't. So thank you for coming here tonight, ladies and gents. I, in the meantime, will now be off to ready myself and prepare for tonight's episode of Poetry Live in a few minutes, so that I can read you the back of some more strange and wonderful packets of things. Absolutely, back at Lancelot's pad, he's feeling rather aggrieved that all this is happening. But it almost makes you think that Sir Lancelot might at some point not be so faithful to King Arthur in the future. Yes, you did, Marissa. That's the important thing. And thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Clockwork. Thank you, Black Rabbit and Rhineland. Thank you, Marissa. It's been wonderful to see you. And now, ladies and gents, I'll say goodnight to you for the next few minutes at least. Poetry Live is about to start in about 5 minutes. I need to get myself prepped for it. And then I'll see you then as I embark upon reading all manner of strange and wonderful things. See you soon.